Hey guys, welcome to the third video of Let's Learn Python over the summer. This one is going to be a little long, and you're probably wondering why there are alpacas here. It's because I'm hiding my code. So yeah, you may have just seen the output, but here we go. So using Python 3, what's my name? And what's my favorite number? That's cool. But let's say I'm David Tang. And my favorite number is 40. That's too small. What a terrible number. Jeez, David Tang. Um, let's say my name is Walter. And my favorite number is 17. Also a terrible number. Interesting. Valerie. And my favorite number is 100. That's too big. So as you can see, we're doing two things. We're taking input and using it later, and we're also evaluating input. So we're giving a different response based on what we have. And I'm going to move the alpacas over here. I'm going to try to keep this video short, but we'll find out. So here we have, you can see a couple things that are completely new. Input, or in the case of Python 2.7, raw input. These are functions, or basically tools, to take things from the console or command line. So it'll wait for you. Let's run it again. Hello, what is your name? And it'll wait for you almost indefinitely. In fact, it will wait for you indefinitely until your computer shuts down. So that's very patient of it. But yeah, that's what that does. And it'll put it into the new name variable, which we just declared. So it's an assignment to new name of whatever comes out of input. And to delineate, or to end the input, you hit enter. So as you can see, I entered Valerie and then hit enter, and that put Valerie into new name. For 2.7, there's obviously a little prefix here that says string. That's the type that's coming out of the raw input. The type is a string, so it's a word, and the next type is an integer. For Python 3, integer is declared, but string is a default, a preset, so that's okay. The next thing you've probably seen if you're looking at 3 is these things. So these are separator and end. These aren't normally seen in other languages, at least not this style where you're assigning something to be separator and assigning something to be end. It's like setting something on your tool, setting some calibration that says separator will be nothing, or if we added something, now it's that, and end will be this, which will go at the end. This is a special character. It means end line. It means enter, pretty much. So don't worry about that. If we had two of them, well, you'll see. Let's save it. And, oh, excuse me. What's my name? Dan. So our separator is 8s, and we have two end lines. So yeah, that's what that does. I don't know how to do this in 2.7. So yeah, sorry guys, I really don't know how to do that. I'm sure there's a way, so if you look into it, bonus points to you. Please post it on the Facebook group, but not entirely sure how to do it. If you look at the 2.7 code, actually, somewhere around here in my, there we go. You get these spaces around it, which is just a problem. It's kind of annoying. Anyway, the next part is taking an integer, so it's the same idea, but it's an if statement. And these are slightly different, but it's not a difference between 2.7 and 3, it's just that I didn't code the same thing. But if, and then a statement, do this. So there's two things here. One, this is indented. So that's saying do anything in this indentation. If we said print it twice, well, what do you think would happen? If the indentation tells me that I should do everything indented this far, let's save it and do it. My favorite number should be less than 42, to check it out. Yep, it does everything there. So that's useful to know. Indentation delineates the block, and a block is a whole thing, a whole set of commands. In C or C++, this is a compile block, so it'll all compile together. Not true in Python, but it's the same style. A big block of things. So if condition colon do all that makes sense. The conditions have to be yes or no, because computers can't deal with maybe, and you don't really talk like, oh, if well, if a maybe condition, so that's a little hard to find. Doesn't really make sense. If call me maybe, do blank, call me maybe reference, haha, very funny. No, but if maybe condition doesn't work in grammar, and it doesn't work here either. So yeah, besides less than, there's less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to, or even not equal to, or equal to. And realize that equal to is not this. This is assignment. This is used up here. But equal to is this. Anyway, I've messed that up many times, so don't feel bad if you forget that at the start. This next line is else if, or elif for abbreviation. And it's just another if statement, but it checks the first one first, if this, and then checks this one. If it's not that, check this. So you might think, why is this necessary? Couldn't you just use two if statements? But this second else if will never run if the first statement is always true. In fact, interesting thing, we can write true, or at least I think we can write true in Python. Never tried this. True, not defined. Let's try this. Lowercase. Yeah, it'll always run. And I can show you that by giving it a number that's really big, and it says too small. So, putting it back, it'll evaluate the first one first. And yeah. So that, and then it'll get to the else if. So like we've been saying, it runs straight down the page and evaluates the first one. And it'll skip over the second one, which, okay. You might not think that's useful, but it is pretty useful if there's something that you want to do conditional based on this, like say it's too big. You don't want to ever say it's too small, and you don't ever say it's too big if it's too small. That's just silly. You don't want to do both of these. So you do either or exclusive or. You only do either of them. The next one is else. So if this, else if this, and if both of those are no, you'll do this one. So if it's less than 42, do this. If it's greater than 40, else if it's greater than 42, do this. But if it's neither of those, it must be 42, so yay, I like 42. And that's what an else statement is. It's a little intuitive, so hopefully you can figure that out. If you have problems, email me or Facebook me or something like that. So going back, we learned about input. We learned that you had to declare the type of it. That's called casting. We'll talk more about that later. Yeah, raw input or input for those 3 users, Python 3. And then we learned about if statements and these true-false statements called booleans. Oh, and we learned about indentation. So in indentation, we can also nest an if statement. That's kind of cool. If we really hated 17, then we can write what a terrible number. Yeah, cool. But yeah, that's what a nested if statement does. It just runs inside the regular if statement. I'm not sure that worked the first time, so maybe I'll have to get back to you. Oh, it did work. So that time, if this number, do this, and then if within this statement, if your favorite number is less than 42, and if your favorite number is not equal to 17, print out this. And also do this beforehand, but we knew that. So, because you read straight down the page. Yeah, that one's a little intuitive too. It's just a nested if statement. So if this, and then you do whatever is inside, but inside that block, you have another if statement, and you have another indentation because you have it all inside the block. Cool. So I think that's it for today. It's a little confusing, but if statements are really critical, I think you'll be fine with it. Inputs, fairly intuitive. You just take something from your console. Cool. So for those of you who didn't get the homework, at least you tried, or hopefully you tried. So it's not homework, I guess. So to change things without using something, or without using, oh, well, I guess the first one was changing them with changing, what am I doing? I'm failing right now. Dishonor. Dishonor you, dishonor your cow. I don't own a cow. Anyway, we wanted to exchange the variable values. So we could do this, use a temporary variable, temp. Excuse me, this should be B. And then A equals temp. That works. 3 lines, uses an extra variable. Or for those of you who tried the advanced one, we could do A equals A plus B, and then B equals A minus B, and then A equals B, or A minus B. And that's a little confusing, but I'm sure you can figure that out. So A is equal to 5 here. B is equal to 5 minus 4, so B is now equal to 1. And A is equal to 5 minus 1 is equal to 4. So now B is equal to 1 and A is equal to 4, which is the reverse. Cool. Cool beans. Yeah. That's it. Have a nice evening. I'll see you later. Email me, text me. I did cook something delicious tonight. Turkey burgers. They were delicious. But I'm here. So that proves that I love you very much. And that I love coding. And that I obviously should go outside more often. Yeah, okay. Bye.